Coming up on this Thursday edition of Daybreak, President Park Geun-hye will make a rare statement following a cabinet meeting today, explaining why the government cannot deliver her election pledge to support all senior citizens with a basic pension. North Korea experts at a forum in Seoul say Pyongyang will likely flaunt its nuclear capability as a bargaining tool in dealing with Washington and its allies, rather than actually conducting a fourth nuclear test. Plus, the massive earthquake that killed more than 300 people and injured hundreds of others in Pakistan Tuesday has created a new island off the country's southwestern coast. Daybreak begins now.
You're watching Daybreak on Thursday, September 26th, and I'm Choi here in Seoul. As part of President Park Geun-hye's campaign promises, a bill to provide a basic monthly pension for the elderly has been finalized. But due to the tight fiscal budget, the measure has been scaled down to exclude wealthier seniors and will likely be the first of many watered-down versions of President Park's welfare pledges. Our Oh Jin-ji reports that could signify another major political setback for the president.
Starting next July, senior citizens aged 65 and older that fall in the lower 70% income bracket will receive up to 200,000 won, or about $186, in basic pension payouts per month. People in the upper 30% income bracket of this age group will receive none. This is part of the government's basic pension bill finalized on Wednesday and scheduled to be submitted at a cabinet meeting presided over by the president on Thursday. However, even for those in the bottom 70%, the amount of pension payout will vary in accordance with how long they have paid into the national pension system. Some may receive as little as $93, while those who have contributed to the system for 11 years or less can receive the maximum $186. In order to fall in the lower 70% income bracket, a senior citizen must earn less than $770 per month. The government explains that more than 90% of the people in the bottom 70% will receive the maximum amount of $186. But the plan is likely to be the target of public and political criticism since it falls short of an earlier pledge to extend $186 in basic pension payments to all citizens aged 65 and older, not just to some. President Park is expected to address the controversial welfare pledges, including the basic pension issue, during Thursday's cabinet meeting, and explain to the public how it was nearly impossible to secure the funds needed to fulfill the goal. Experts predict that she will, however, vow to do her best to achieve her welfare promises by the time her term in office is over. Oh Jin-ji, Arirang News.
Some welcome news for the country's local government. Support measures aimed at helping them generate more revenue and backing their welfare services were released on Wednesday. But Yuri-an reports it may not be enough to satisfy those with serious budget deficits.
Economic policymakers on Tuesday released a set of measures to support local governments, which have been under mounting financial burden. The problems at the local governments have worsened since the central government expanded the country's free childcare system and lowered an acquisition tax to revitalize the housing market earlier this year. Now the central government says it will increase state subsidies for free daycare services by 10 percentage points from its current ratio. That means the central government will soon be covering 30% of the total cost in Seoul and 60% for other regions.
We are making up for a shortfall in the local government's revenues caused by last month's comprehensive real estate measures. We'll also ease their financial burden heightened by the free childcare services.
To make up for the shortfall in tax revenue caused by a cut in the home acquisition tax, the local governments will be allowed to increase their consumption tax. The consumption tax will gradually increase from the current 5% to 11% by 2015, which will create new revenues of about 2.6 trillion won, or roughly $2.2 billion. These measures are being met with great resistance from local governments, however, as they fall short of their original demands. The city of Seoul in particular said in a statement following the announcement that even with the new measures in place, it will need about $300 million to fund an expanded childcare program next year. Yuri-an, Arirang News.
Korea is seeking to turn 9 low-end areas near the country's major cities into high-tech industrial complexes by the year 2015 to attract investment. The plan is to designate 3 areas next year and 6 more in 2015. A government council on promotion of trade and investment presented the plan during a meeting presided over by President Park Geun-hye. Currently, there are 11 such complexes nationwide designated back in 2001 to foster the culture and communications industries. But the complexes have not been attracting as much investment as initially projected due to high land prices and remote locations. President Park said the competitiveness of such industrial areas is directly linked to the nation's export competitiveness and urged the government to add housing, cultural, and welfare facilities to aged complexes. With strong signals, North Korea is marching on with its nuclear technology development. Some have predicted a 4th nuclear test may be in the works. Our foreign affairs correspondent Hwang Sung-hee reports on the latest expert opinions on Pyongyang's nuclear strategy.
Before going ahead with its 4th nuclear test, North Korea will try to showcase its improved nuclear capability, providing an opportunity for fresh negotiations. That's according to American arms control expert Joshua Pollack, who was speaking at the ASEAN North Korea conference in Seoul on Wednesday.
The next step, in my educated guess, would be to show us what analysts sometimes call the ground truth, to bring a trusted set of eyes inside the facilities so they can use them to bargain with us and to put pressure on us to come to the table more on their terms.
In April, the North announced the reboot of its facilities at Yangbyeon, and recent satellite imagery of the complex suggests steady progress has already been made. Pyongyang is believed to have doubled the floor size of its uranium enrichment plant and reactivated its plutonium production reactor. Dr. Marcus Schiller from Schmucker Technology says such developments are not an imminent threat, but rather a bargaining chip for the North.
There are so many things that can go wrong if you put this rocket on a launch site and prepare that for a launch as a nuclear attack against the United States, that I wouldn't bet anything on doing this. So if you ask me if it's technically capable, yes it is, but it's highly, highly unlikely that they will ever do that.
But considering North Korea's unpredictability, experts say the concerned parties should maintain their close cooperation on the situation.
Before the first North Korean nuclear test, the North Korean government informed China it was going to do a nuclear test. So I would say that there should be a lot of discussions among China, United States, and South Korea on how to assessing North Korea's nuclear weapon capability.
In any case, experts say dialogue may be the best way to go in tackling the current challenges with North Korea. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News.
South Korea has finished a review of a 5-year plan for inter-Korean policy that's based on the so-called trust-building process. Unification Minister Ryu Gil-jae said Wednesday that the plan stresses trust as a crucial matter that the two Koreas must address to beef up exchanges and cooperation and to eventually lead to unification. President Park Geun-hye introduced the trust-building process to deal with the North, which can be summarized as a policy that effectively uses a balance of open dialogue and pressure. Meanwhile, North Korea on the same day pushed back scheduled talks over traveling and communication networks in Kaesong Industrial Complex without giving a reason. Now to reshuffle of South Korea's top military brass. Head of the Korean Navy, Choi has been tapped to become the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to replace General Chung Seung-jo, whose two-year term ends next month. The Defense Ministry announced Wednesday that Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Choi, a 59-year-old veteran Marine, well known for his strategic leadership, was nominated to succeed General Chung. This will be the first time a naval officer has headed the Joint Chiefs, and according to the Defense Ministry, the change aims to strengthen cooperation between the Army, Navy, Air Force, and other military services. The National Assembly is expected to vote on Choi's nomination Thursday.
If you want the latest news from Korea and around the world.
Return to the negotiations.
President Park Geun-hye, given the current circumstances.
On your way to work or at home.
Defense Ministry. The legislature will convene a...
Tune into Daybreak on Arirang TV.
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said Tuesday. The death toll from the powerful earthquake that struck southwestern Pakistan earlier this week has risen to over 325 people. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Tuesday near Baluchistan, the nation's largest but least populated province. Tremors were reportedly felt as far away as in the Indian capital of New Delhi, and the quake created a small island about 200 meters long and 100 meters wide in the Arabian Sea off the coast of Gwadar. The Pakistani military has dispatched hundreds of soldiers to the area for rescue operations. More than 300,000 people in 6 districts are reported to have been affected by the latest quake. Western countries are helping Kenya investigate a terrorist attack at a busy Nairobi shopping mall in which at least 67 civilians and military personnel lost their lives. The investigative work by the U.S., Britain, and Interpol began a day after Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta declared the siege has ended. But there are still an unknown number of bodies under debris and collapsed floors. Intelligence reports have revealed the plot was masterminded in weeks in advance by the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab terrorist group and suggest a British woman and a few Americans were involved in the plot, but nothing has been verified yet. At least 10 people are reportedly being held in connection with the attack. Korea and China have drafted a consular agreement to protect the rights of their citizens who are staying in the other country. Korea's foreign ministry says the two sides meeting in Seoul Wednesday finally reached a compromise on key issues. The agreement brings to an end the negotiations that have dragged on since 2002. Under the draft, Seoul and Beijing have agreed to inform each other within 4 days after a national from Korea or China is arrested or detained on the other soil. Discussions also included simplifying the visa process for visitors, strengthening the medical tourism market, and enhancing safety regulations for foreign workers. The Foreign Ministry says Seoul and Beijing plan to formally sign the agreement in the near future. A Korean citizen was murdered in the Philippines this week, the 9th such a case in the Southeast Asian country this year. The Korean embassy in Manila said the body of the 40-year-old victim, identified only by her surname Chung, was found on Monday in an office building where she used to work. Chung was operating a travel agency in Manila. The Korean embassy is planning to officially ask authorities in the Philippines next week for a thorough investigation into the recent homicides of Korean victims. The United States now has a firm deadline on when it will run out of cash to pay its debts. U.S. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew warned Congress Wednesday that the world's largest economy will reach its debt limit no later than October 17th, and that it would have just $30 billion in cash to hand to meet the nation's obligations. With bills running as high as $60 billion on some days, Liu called for immediate action to raise the debt ceiling, which currently stands at $16.7 trillion. Over now to the largest recall of vehicles in the nation's history. Hyundai Motor and its affiliate Kia Motors are recalling about 660,000 units in Korea over a faulty brake switch. The move affects 15 different Hyundai and Kia models produced between 2007 and 2011, including Hyundai's Genesis and Kia's Forte Compact. Hyundai said in a statement that similar recalls in other countries are likely to follow. The latest recall by Hyundai and Kia, which rank 5th in global auto sales, comes after recalls of over 160,000 vehicles in April in Korea. Korea will host the 7th World Water Forum in April of 2015, which will address issues of climate change, access of water, and sanitation. Kim Young-il took a trip to the southern city of Daegu to see how things are shaping up.
It's the world's largest meeting about water and will be happening in the Korean cities of Daegu and Gyeongju in a little over a year. The forum will bring together interest groups from all over the world to tackle some of the major challenges facing countries around the world as they seek to preserve access to clean water.
The 7th World Water Forum will be held in April 2015. Water experts from around the world will gather for 1 week to find solutions to water shortage problems.
Participants will develop policy recommendations covering water security and how to sustain water-related ecosystems. Ahead of the forum, a group of local and foreign reporters gathered to learn about the preparations and toured a segment of the Nakdong River, which passes through the host city, Daegu. The river is part of Korea's Four Rivers Restoration Project, which was completed in 2011 and was aimed at preserving water resources, combating water scarcity, improving water quality, and restoring the river's ecosystem. I am standing in front of the Ark Cultural Center, which is located on the Nakdong River. The center was opened last year to commemorate the completion of the Four Rivers project and represents the architecture and artistry of river culture. The group learned about techniques for managing wastewater at a landfill located in Daegu. The leachate collected from the landfill is treated and recycled to indirect potable water using state-of-the-art technology. Methane in landfill gas is purified and used as an energy source for electricity generation.
Industrial and domestic wastewater will be recycled as potable water, and sludge generated during the wastewater treatment will also be recycled to methane gas and used as an energy source, just like the landfill site.
The Korean government expects that hosting the 7th World Water Forum will help Korea play a major role in water management and sustainable development. Kim Young-il, Arirang News, Daegu.
And a good Thursday morning to you all as we kick things off in the major leagues, where 25-year-old Lee Hyun-jin earned his 14th win of the season after beating the San Francisco Giants on Tuesday night. Now another quality start for the hefty lefty, who pitches 7 innings, giving up just 4 hits on 1 run while striking out 6 Giants batters. Not a lot of run support from the Dodgers once again, but solo shots from Yaseo Puig and Matt Kemp, just enough for the lefty to earn his 14th game of the season as the Dodgers beat the Giants 2-1. Now with the win, Lee Hyun-jin's record stands at 14-7 with an ERA of 2.97. And staying in baseball, but back here in the nation as we have about a week left in the regular season in the KBO. Now 4 games took place last night as the Kia Tigers beat the Lotte Giants 7-1, with the NC Dinos pulling off an upset against the Nexen Heroes 1-0. So with that said, let's take a look at the other two games that took place, starting off with the LG Twins taking on the Hanwha Eagles. Of course, shifting into the game here, we go over to the second inning of the game. Here's Lee Dae-soo to start things off, an RBI double to right as the Hanwha Eagles take an early 1-0 lead. Next player here is Chun Bum-mo, grounds out to second base here, and then in comes Kim Tae-gyun to score, and it's 2-0 Hanwha. Not done yet though, here's Ko Dong-jin this time, and this one is going to be an RBI single to left, and already the Hanwha Eagles up 3-0. We got to shift over to the sixth inning of the game. Chung Mo-mo once again. Here's an RBI single up the middle, and the Eagles continue to soar 4-0. Got to shift over to the seventh inning of the game. Here is the $1 million man, Kim Tae-gyun. He drills this one to deep left field, and here we go. Gone, a 3-run shot as the Hanwha Eagles now take a 7-0 lead. Now the LG Twins will get on board late in the game here, 8th inning, thanks to Chung Ju-hyun's RBI double to left field, but the Hanwha Eagles do cruise through in this game, 8-1, your final score. And next up, the Samsung Lions taking on the SK Wyverns. First inning, Han Dong-min at bat, and there it goes, back, deep to center field. A 3-run shot to start things off as the SK Wyverns take an early 3-0 lead. Now, it will stay that way for most of the game until the 8th inning here. Bases loaded for Park Geun-hye. He singles to right, scoring 2 runners, and the score is now 3-2. Next batter, Park Sung-min at bat, and here he goes, drills this one to deep left field, back, gone, a 3-run shot, and the Samsung Lions come back to take the lead 6-3. Meanwhile, Woo Dong-gyun completes the 7-run 8th inning with this one, an RBI double to right as the Samsung Lions rally to win this game 7-3. And with that said, shifting over to the AFC Champions League, where FC Seoul took on Esteghlal FC of Iran last night at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. With the home crowd behind them, FC Seoul looked great on the pitch as Dejan Damjanovic sends one past the goalkeeper in the 39th minute of the match as FC Seoul took a 1-0 lead going into halftime. 2 minutes after the start of the second half, Ko Yo-han finds the back of the net as the Korean side take the first leg 2-0. Now the second leg will take place in Tehran with the winner advancing to the finals. And with that said, finishing things off in Germany, where Son Heung-min continues to shine with Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga as the South Korean scored during the DFB Pokal round of 32 matches. Third goal of the season. His team will win 2-0 against Arminia Bielefeld as he looks forward to continuing his goal-scoring success. And so with that said, that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
Good morning, I'm Lee Ji-hyun with your latest weather forecast. Well, it's chilly this morning, and even numbers show that the morning lows are about 5 to 7 degrees lower compared to yesterday. And the current temperature in Seoul is about 14 degrees Celsius, which is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So yes, it's cold out there, so please dress warmly today because afternoon highs are also expected to be a tad cooler than yesterday. But sky will be beautiful with plenty of sunshine across the nation. So as we can see, hardly any clouds are seen on our satellite map, so we are waking up with the sunshine and regions will enjoy fine fall weather all day long. Now tomorrow should be another beautiful day but chillier than today, so you might wonder if the temperature will drop down each day from now on. Well, yes and no, because mercury will stay in the low 20s for central regions and mid 20s for southern provinces throughout the weekend, but readings should jump back to seasonal averages next week. Well, it really doesn't matter what parts of the country you're in. We'll have nice, bright, sunny, but chilly morning commute. So let's take a look at morning lows and afternoon highs for today. The morning lows in Seoul and Gwangju started out at 13 degrees Celsius, and daytime highs in Seoul will rise to 22 degrees Celsius, which is 71 degrees in Fahrenheit. And afternoon highs in Daegu, Gwangju, and Busan will get up to 25. Now let's see how other regions are looking. It looks like temperatures in Jeju, Daejeon will also get up to 23. while Dokdaemun Kumgang will be topping out at 18 and 11. Well, that's all from me at this hour. Enjoy your morning commute, and back to Yusan in the studio.
Thank you, Jiyeon. And that's it for this Thursday edition of Daybreak. Thank you for watching.